Okay, the title of this video is How War of the Worlds Fumbles Its Own Message. So, I'd like to keep this video focused on that. But you have to understand, War of the Worlds 2025 is a very special type of bad. There is a reason this film has exploded all over the internet as one of the worst films of the decade. This is like Cinema Sins fodder. Listen, say what you will about Cinema Sins. I think it's a kinda funny idea that loses any and all humor when you do it to every single movie, or, take it seriously as criticism. But War of the Worlds is what that format was built for. An obviously bad movie with so many things wrong, both big and little. It is kinda fun to just sit there with a bell and ding it for every tiny issue it has. And I don't want to do that today. I want to focus on this one specific thing the film does wrong, and inevitably War of the Worlds is going to trip me up, and I'm going to spend some time nitpicking something that ultimately doesn't really matter. So, let me just make clear, I'm skipping out on a lot here. There are a lot of things I could be criticizing War of the Worlds for. For example, everyone in the movie uses video call for everything. Like, that's ridiculous and an incredibly forced way to keep your characters on screen, but does it really matter? Would the movie actually be improved if some people just wanted to use voice call? Not really. So I'm gonna try not to get hung up on things like that, but I'm letting you know now I will fail. Anyways, I guess I should probably start by telling you what this movie is and what happens in it. Based incredibly loosely on the H.G. Wells novel of the same name, War of the Worlds is a 2025 film released directly to Amazon Prime. The film is presented entirely from a desktop computer screen, or occasionally a phone screen, a gimmick that's been done maybe half a dozen times and has really only been done well once, at least that I've seen. The film focuses on Will Radford, played by rapper turned actor Ice Cube, an NSA agent tracking a conspiratorial hacker called the Disruptor, to little success, while also abusing his surveillance privileges by spying on his children to make sure they're doing okay. Despite this, he will not figure out his son is the Disruptor until near the 40-minute mark, when I was able to figure it out after one conversation. But I digress. His day is interrupted when a bunch of giant alien pods fall out of the sky and begin attacking major cities around the world. With the help of a friend on the ground, he figures out these walkers are releasing techno bugs into the world's data centers to, eat data. The implication of the film is that the bugs eat data for sustenance. They aren't stealing our data for nefarious purposes, they're just consuming it. I think? They keep saying the bugs eat data, and they don't otherwise explain what the aliens are gonna do with all this data, so I have to just assume they mean the bugs are consuming it for nourishment. Put a pin in this, it will be relevant later. It's around this time that Ice Cube discovers his son is the Disruptor, but before he can do anything about it, his son shows him the secret evidence he has, all of which Ice Cube believes immediately in a hilarious montage of him giving the most forced, "Oh my god, they lied to me" line delivery over and over and over.
Dave was right. He lied to me the whole time. Right to my face.
I had to share that part, it made me laugh so hard. Anyways, what he discovers is, on top of the normal complete surveillance of the NSA, the government has also started something called the Goliath Project, a somehow even bigger data project that they made despite knowing about the data-eating aliens. They were warned that if they did this, the aliens would attack, and they went ahead anyways. And then there's some bit where an Amazon drone saves the day by delivering a USB stick with an ever so subtly introduced biohacking virus, which kills the aliens. Hooray for Amazon! Wait, who released this movie again? Also, Ice Cube's Amazon delivery man's son-in-law is played by Roderick from the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies. That's not important, I just wanted to bring it up. Now, maybe you've already noticed some problems with this film, not the least of which being keeping the main character in the same room for 98% of the film means action will be going on and all Ice Cube can do is sit there and yell,
Y'all gotta get out of there! Haul ass now!
But before we dive too deep into that, I need to address the elephant in the room. You know, this elephant. There are a lot of conservative signifiers in this. They mention Space Force several times, and this is the only time I have ever heard that mentioned unironically. Is that even a real thing? I thought that was just one of those bullshit things Trump said for his supporters to meme over for a month before moving on to the next thing. Holy shit, it's real? What the fuck? There's some pretty blatant Tesla product placement, and Amazon and Facebook show up a lot too. Hey, would you look at that? But to me, it's the fact that Ice Cube's primary news source in this is Fox. That's the real smoking gun that someone involved with this, be it a writer, director, or producer, perhaps even all three, had a bit of a conservative slant. There's a Joe Rogan nod at the end. It's like the second to last thing on screen. And I bring this up not to suggest that it's why the movie failed at its message, but rather to dispel the idea. Like, I'm not surprised conservatives failed at this, but there's nothing uniquely conservative about the message or their failure to tell it. Like, let's be real, both sides are perfectly capable of making a shitty movie. I just think that's worth saying. This is a film clearly made by conservatives, but its messaging and the fumbling thereof is pretty nonpartisan. So, the message. Government surveillance bad. Obviously, this film is critiquing the surveillance state here in America. It's the cause of the alien attack, and it's paralleled by the story of Ice Cube being overprotective of his children. Although there's maybe your first mistake, put a pin in that too. And in fact, you can use the previous pin, because we're gonna circle back to the aliens eating data right now. On the one hand, that's stupid, like, as a concept. Maybe there was a way you could do that where, like, the aliens are slowly consuming the data from our technology and the characters have to get more and more low-tech as the movie goes on. Might make the scene where they eat his dead wife's Facebook page feel a little less silly and unearned. Oh yeah, did I mention this? This all takes place on, like, the anniversary of his wife's death. He has, like, the sad final message from her, but it was sent over Facebook Messenger so that the aliens can eat it. You know what? Not important. I'm sorry. But here's the thing. By having it just be that the aliens are attacking to eat our data, they don't actually contend with why government surveillance is bad. Would Ice Cube even have a problem with this if the government didn't know it would cause an alien attack? Like, aliens removed from the picture, is this program really that much more extensive than the current NSA, which seems to have free access to any camera in the country in this film, and possibly, perhaps even likely, real life as well? If the aliens had maybe done something nefarious with the data, that'd be one thing. It's the fact that they just ingest it that ruins any chance of actual critique. Like, instead, they should be taking our data to more easily control us. They'll feed our information to an algorithm that keeps us in a dopamine loop, just watching whatever they put directly in front of us. Or they'll study our buying habits and use it to send us targeted advertisements for the things they know we want. And hey, wait a minute, isn't that what these guys are doing? Yeah, I don't think this fumbling is necessarily conservative, but I do think it's conspicuously corporate. Like, all of these massive companies agreed to be depicted in this. Amazon straight up released it to their own platform. And they can't really talk about why data collecting is bad without discussing the things these companies are doing. So instead it's just, evil aliens who want to eat our data and erase all the photos of your dead wife. And also maybe big government, but that's okay. If you follow the parallel with Ice Cube's overprotectiveness, the film ends on a letter he wrote to his kids explaining that he may have gone too far, but he only did it because he cared about them and wanted to protect them. The implication being that while they may go too far, the government only wants to protect us, and definitely has our best interest at heart. Do you guys have any idea how fucked online privacy is right now? Like, if even half of these fucking Save the Children acts go into effect, we are looking at an online surveillance state that would make Big Brother blush. Things are bad right now, man. Like, if your website asks for my ID, I will just not use your website. If I suddenly stop uploading to YouTube, that'll be why. Now, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they didn't really think through those implications. Hell, I don't think they thought through the data-eating aliens either. Nothing about this film seems well thought out at all. And I'm also not convinced the people behind this understand why data harvesting is bad. Like, I'm talking a little conspiratorially when I talk about the corporate influence on this film. Clearly they were happy to sign on to it. Amazon, Facebook, YouTube, etc. all agreed to be part of this because it doesn't actually implicate them. But I do believe the aliens eating data thing was simply because the writer didn't know what else to write. A plot contrivance to get around not actually knowing the message of their own film. And again, this is only one thing the film fumbles. It gets pretty much everything wrong top to bottom. But a lot of that lies right on the surface, and I wanted to dig down into it and show that even on the deepest level, this film just doesn't work. But you know what? It is fucking hilarious. I do recommend this movie. Get together with your friends, get drunk, watch this insanity. This will go down as one of the great bad movies in history. Don't miss it. Until next time, I'm Matt. Have a nice day.